FromSoft invited me to try out a demo for their new upcoming game, Elden Ring Nightreign. No, they didn't. I'm lying. Sorry to clickbait you, but I do want to talk about the game. First off, to talk about the base game, I watched Iron Pineapple and Vati Vidya's videos going over what they experienced, and from the looks of it, it looks like a very interesting game. On the surface, it's a game that I wouldn't really be interested in. Well, yes and no. I'm not really a fan of roguelike games. There's not really a whole lot of roguelikes that I enjoy. They're just not my style of game. I don't like the random just drop in, fight random bosses, find random loot, all that stuff. The only roguelike off the top of my head, or that I can think of, that I actually enjoy is The Binding of Isaac. And I think that is just because The Binding of Isaac is, for some reason, addictive. And it just grabs you and hooks you. I don't know what it is about that game, but that's not the point of the video. Usually, I don't really like roguelikes, but this one I'm interested in. For one, just because it's FromSoft and it's Elden Ring, and I love Souls games. Like, Demon Souls is so fucking good. I have Bloodborne right here because I want to do another playthrough of it. Demon Souls is probably one of my favorite Souls games. Well, Bloodborne, Demon Souls, it could go either way. Playstyle is either Bloodborne or Sekiro, and then world and theme is probably Demon Souls or Bloodborne. I don't know. The point is, I like FromSoft games, and I don't think they've made a bad game. That I know of, they have not made a bad game. So with that, I already have pretty high expectations for this game, and I really don't think they will disappoint. I'm sure this game is going to be good. The thing is, I don't know if it'll be like a game that I play for weeks, for months, or if it'll just be just an average multiplayer game that maybe some friends and I play for a couple weeks and then we go find another game. Just by the type of game that it is, I think it'll unfortunately be the latter, where it comes out and people just play it for a while. It's fun, it's cool, and then it just kind of starts to die off and people start losing interest. It gets repetitive. One thing that I just thought of that I hope they have for this game is certain like unlockables. Like, you beat this boss and then you unlock this item that you can use, or this weapon, or something. Pretty much just The Binding of Isaac. What I hope for this game is The Binding of Isaac in a Halloween costume, cosplaying as Elden Ring. That would be really nice. That would be really cool. It doesn't seem like that's what it is from what Iron Pineapple and Vati have said and spoken of the game, and just from what we've seen of the game so far and the way that it's been talked about. It doesn't seem like it's going to be The Binding of Isaac. It seems like it's just going to be another roguelike. I say Hades, but I haven't played Hades, so I'm not really going to use that as an example. But if they have a way to make beating the game and replaying it again actually worth it, then that'd be really cool. I'm sure they'll have trophies and everything for the game, which, I'll want to go and 100% it. I want to get the platinum trophy, most likely, unless they have some stupid fucking hard ones. Or maybe I just don't really like the game enough to try for it. But they'll have trophies. But I hope they have stuff that actually will change the game in a better way, or give you another reason to continue playing the game. I'm fucking up on my words right now so bad, man. Going over stuff that I saw that I do actually like from the game. The way the game basically works is you team up with two other people. I don't know if 3 players is the max and if you can go lower or higher. I assume you can have less than 2 other players. So maybe if you just want to do solo, maybe you can do that. Or if you want to do it with 2 people, or you and another person, you can probably do that. I don't know if you can have more than 3 players. So you team up with people and you are dropped into a random island, Fortnite style. And the whole goal is you have 3 days. On the first day, you just go around, and then the Fortnite ring slowly closes in, and you have to go and fight the first boss, the boss of day one, to stop the ring and move on to day two. And then before you do that, you're just trying to explore, looking for loot, looking for new weapons, for items, and trying to get runes to level up. You beat the first boss, and then you go to day two, and you repeat, do the same thing. And after day two, when you beat that boss, you go on to day three. And I think from there, you just teleported to the final boss, and so you just go and fight the final boss. One thing that I question about with this is how long the matches or the game sessions will be, because just from how long it took me to beat Elden Ring and exploring everything in there, but also with the gameplay and stuff that we've seen, and from what Iron Pineapple and Vati have said about the game, it looks like a very fast-paced game. Like, you drop in, you rush, you look for stuff, and you go fight people. And it is supposed to be very quick. So I don't know how long these sessions are supposed to be. One thing about this game that I am hoping for, we've seen they have the Nameless King in the game, obviously, and they have, of course, they have Elden Ring bosses. I hope that they will have Bloodborne and Demon Souls bosses. Maybe Sekiro bosses, but I really doubt that. I don't think they're at all going to put Sekiro bosses in there. It'd be cool if they did, but I have no expectation for that to happen. And Bloodborne bosses and Demon Souls bosses, I don't think those will happen either. Demon Souls, I don't think will happen just because Demon Souls isn't connected to Dark Souls and Elden Ring. Even the Dark Souls and Elden Ring connection, I am not sure how that's there. I'm interested in seeing how they connect those and seeing why the Nameless King is in Limgrave and fucking around doing whatever in the Elden Ring world. Bloodborne, I don't think we'll see any bosses or enemies from there because of the same reason as Demon Souls, but also just because Sony is a fucking cunt and fucking stupid when it comes to the Bloodborne IP, and they don't want to do fucking shit with it, even though if they do basically anything with it, it's guaranteed to sell. One thing that I do like about the game already is when you start, you will pick between different bosses to fight. So you pick the wolf one that splits into three. We've seen that one. You can pick that one or however many other ones, and you will pick one of them and then go through the day and lead up to fighting them. These bosses, these big bosses that you fight, are called Night Lords, which thematically, with the name Nightreign, makes sense. But also, I just love it because Night Lords. If you know me, or if you've watched a couple of my videos, if you didn't notice, I really like Night Lords from Warhammer 40k. Night Lords are super fucking cool. So, them being named Night Lords, even though it has nothing to do with Night Lords, it's just a really cool fucking name, and I like it. Going back to bosses and enemies, another thing that I think is okay about this game is them reusing enemies and bosses from Elden Ring and from other Souls games, from Dark Souls. I think it's perfectly fine. Granted, I would like to see new enemies, and we have seen at least some new enemies, but it also makes sense for them to reuse enemies from Elden Ring because it's set in the Elden Ring world, so of course there's going to be the same enemies there. At least some of them are going to be similar. Now, I understand, I do want to see new bosses too because, you know, it's a new game. I want new bosses. But it is also cool to see old bosses and have them reused, and especially when what I've heard and from what it seems they are doing is they are taking old bosses, some old bosses, and giving them new movesets and new attacks to fit this new style of gameplay, which, if they're doing that, I think, one, that's already very good. But also, you got to think about when this game is coming out. This game is coming out this game is coming out May 30th, which is not long away. That's a couple months away. And this game just got announced a couple months ago. I don't know how long this game has been in development, but if they want to release this game like relatively soon, reusing old enemies and bosses that would cut down on a lot of time. Because if they make new bosses and whole new enemies, that's all enemies that you have to design, you have to make the assets for, you have to do everything. With them reusing bosses, all they have to do is just move the bosses, move the assets from Elden Ring to this new Elden Ring. So it saves a lot of time on that end. And it also gives them more time to focus on other things like how the world is set up, how the world is created, how traversal works, how your character works, and everything. It just gives them a lot more time to focus on other things. Another thing I do actually like that they're doing with this game is leveling up. The way it works in this game, instead of leveling up just different stats the way you do in other Souls games, it's just level 1, level 2, level 3, and you just level up in general, and it increases all your stats. I think for this gameplay, for this style of game, that is the best way to do it. That is a much better way to do it. And it's an easier way to do it for anyone who's new or anyone who they're not super autistic and they don't know all the stats and all the weapons and what you should min-max for and all of that. And it just makes the game go by faster. So you don't have to focus about grinding to get level 20 vigor, level 30 strength so I can use this weapon and equip this and all that stuff. You just level up and you get stronger. Another thing that I do really like I said, this game is coming out May 30th at a $40 price tag, which is not bad. Granted, I haven't seen the game. We haven't seen the full game. So will it be worth $40? Probably. But I think it will also be a short game. And it's just a multiplayer, drop in, do this for a little bit, and then drop back out, do it again, rinse and repeat. So it's $40, but it might not have like replayability like Elden Ring or something like that does. You can still put 100 hours into this game, but it might not be it won't feel as rewarding as Elden Ring or other games. They also have a $55 deluxe edition, which comes with DLC, which is a first for FromSoft having DLC when the game is released. What I don't like about this DLC, though, is that with the DLC comes new characters to play and new bosses to fight. On the one hand, I'm kind of like, I don't really like that, but on the other hand, it makes sense because that's the way all the other FromSoft DLCs are. That's the way the Elden Ring DLC is. That's the Bloodborne DLC, the Dark Souls DLC. They come with new bosses, a new area, new stuff. But with this style of gameplay, it kind of draws me the other way just because of the fact that it's not your character. You choose the equipment, you choose, how you level it up and the clothing and everything. It is preset classes that you choose from. So I think there are 7 or 8 classes that you choose from. And then with this DLC, that'll be more. I don't like that just because, I don't know, it kind of, maybe someone doesn't have the money for the DLC. So it's like now you just can't play as that character. I mean, that's how DLCs are. Another thing that I question also with the DLC, if I have the DLC, but my friend doesn't, can I pick a DLC boss and he join me? Or they also have invasions in this game, so you will be just strolling along, doing whatever, and a boss can randomly come and invade you. If they have DLC invasion bosses, will I be able to fight that with my friend who doesn't have the DLC? I don't know, I question that. They also have new world biomes in the DLC, so I have the same question with that also. Will I be able to go with my friend who doesn't have the DLC to a DLC area? I don't know, I'm very curious about that, but I guess we'll see. That's pretty much all I had, though. That's all I had to say. I'm looking forward to the game. I think it's going to be good. I don't know how long I'll be interested in it when I actually get it and play it. I think I might pre-order it, but we'll see when the time comes closer. But I am looking forward to it. I think it's going to be interesting, at the very least for a week or two. It'll be fun to play. So with that, if you like the video, subscribe if you want. I appreciate anything. I don't know. Night Lords are cool. Elden Ring is cool. FromSoft is cool. Fuck Sony for not giving us more Bloodborne. Have a good day.